Hey guys, so I was at the counter protest in North London last night. Oh my god, it was the best time. Absolute vibes. I can't believe how much we smashed racism. Just in one evening we utterly annihilated the far-right super-fascist, Hitler-worshipping, neo-Nazi, swastika-tattooed, hateful white working-class scum. Just wow, there are no words. I'm so pleased. It was me, Tomo, Tabitha and Poppy, and we all had to take the night off from our quilt-making class, but it was so worth it, because now we can all live in peace and harmony. Whose streets? Our streets. Say it loud, say it clear. Refugees are welcome here. Well, not necessarily like right here, directly where I live, because it might bring the house prices down. And also, night crime. But say 5 miles down the road, refugees are welcome 5 miles down the road. But man, what an absolutely top night of anti-racism. Just legendary. All the best people were there, the good guys. The air was thick with the smell of hummus and body odour. And not one single far-right bigot turned up to riot. Absolute cowards. They saw videos of us on social media standing strong in our Hope Not Hate t-shirts, wrapped in our keffirs, and they thought, no thanks, I'm not risking that. I start messing with those anti-racist, non-binary vegan street militia, I'm going to get my arse handed to me. They didn't even turn up. At one point a pigeon aggressively flew over our heads, and we knew straight away it had been sent by Yaxley Lennon, so we simply chanted, off our streets, Nazi scum, and it pathetically flapped its racist wings and flew away. And I think that's when we knew we had won. For a moment there was an eerie silence, and if you listened carefully, it was almost as if you could hear Hitler crying in hell. One day my mixed-race gender-fluid grandchildren will ask me, what did you do during the race riots of 2024, Grandpa? And I'll tell them how I stood up to the racists, and then we'll all take our shoes off and head into the mosque together.
Hey guys, how you going? Okay, I want to thank Andrew Lawrence for that very funny intro. Okay guys, we've got this. Richard Grenell said this should sink him. Dear God, this is total fascism. And Wokeness said, holy shit. Governor Tim Walz, no right to free speech if the government decides it's misinformation or hateful. The man is a dangerous commie. Sounds like it. Let's have a listen. Just let me check my volume. Okay.
I think we need to push back on this. There's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or hate speech, and especially around our democracy. I think we need to push back on this. There's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or hate speech, and especially around our democracy.
Yeah, we heard that twice. You heard that too, didn't you? Okay. So that's what a vote for Kamala will do for you. Okay. Let's keep going with this. Leading reports said breaking former President Trump has confirmed he will debate Kamala Harris in the pretty near future. Yeah, I want to see that. I really want to see that. Okay. We've got Jack Pozo breaking. Minnesota National Guard leaders publish letter exposing Tim Walz for stolen valor. Walz lied about his rank and quit when he heard his unit was going to mobilize in Iraq. There you go. Stolen valor. He said he was in the National Guard or the Army. Okay, well, his unit was going to mobilise in Iraq and he quit. Okay. Carly Bones said, who actually runs the government? Okay, let's have a listen to this. This is very interesting.
Who actually runs the government, in your experience?
Not who you think it is. It's... And in many cases, especially recently, the troubling part about all this is it's not even people who we vote for. When you look at what happened when President Biden had that infamous debate with President Trump, it exposed the reality that many of us have known for a long time, which is that President Biden has not been the guy calling the shots. He has not been the guy making the decisions, nor has it been Kamala Harris, for that matter. Nor will it be if she is elected president. It is this cabal of, the Democrat elite, the woke warmongers, made up of the likes of Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama and, Tony Blinken and Jake Sullivan and, people who are in the military-industrial complex, people who profit from us being in a constant state of war. It is those in the administrative state, in the national security state, who derive more authorities and ability to take away our liberty when we are in a heightened state of crisis or war. It is their friends and billionaires and people in media who all derive their power from being able to have a figurehead that essentially they can control. And the most troubling part about, there's so many things wrong with this, of course, but really at the most fundamental level, you look at, our country is the oldest democracy in the world, but the reality of a truly functioning and thriving democracy that has brought to life the vision that our founders had for us, that we really have a government of, by, and for the people, and that we have the ability and responsibility, for that matter, to ensure that the government we have only exists with the consent of the governed. That becomes very hard to do, to hold people accountable when the person that you voted for is certainly not the one making the decisions.
How long has that been the case? Was it ever the case that the president ran the country? When was the inflection point?
I don't know that there's one specific. I mean, there has been, as personalities come in and shift here and there, I would say the answer to that has probably changed. But in the election that we are facing here very shortly in the United States, it's our opportunity to hit the reset button. And, however...
Interesting. But I did think that America was a constitutional republic, but there you go. Okay, that's who actually runs the government. Yeah, the people behind the scenes. The people you don't see. Susan Wood said Iraq. The governor of Central Bank of Iraq has submitted his resignation to the Prime Minister, a lawmaker said. Central Bank Governor Ali Alak has reached retirement age and has submitted his registration to Prime Minister Mohammed Shia Sudani. Soran Omar, a member of the Iraqi Economic Committee, told Rador on Tuesday. There you go. People are resigning, but there's more about Iraq in here, or is it Iran? I'm not sure which one it is. But here we go again. Liz Churchill said, liar, abolish the UN. They want to play pandemic again. Let's have a listen. She says it herself.
I have three main messages. First, COVID-19 is still very much with us. The virus is circulating in all countries. Data from our Sentinel-based systems across 84 countries reports that the percent of positive tests for SARS-CoV-2 has been rising over the last several weeks. Overall, test positivity is above 10%, but this fluctuates by region. In Europe, percent positivity is over 20%. To my second point.
BS.
Governments need to continue to invest and support our global understanding of the circulation and impact of this virus, and to provide their populations with the tools to protect themselves and care for people suffering from acute and long-term effects of COVID-19, including post-COVID-19 condition, also called long COVID. Third, as individuals, it is important to take measures to reduce risk of infection and severe disease, including ensuring that you have had a COVID-19 vaccination dose in the last 12 months, especially if you are in an at-risk group. Over the last 2 years, we've seen an alarming decline in vaccination coverage, especially among health workers and people over 60, two of the most at-risk groups. This urgently needs to be turned around.
I have a funny feeling that they need more money. That's why they're urging people to get a jab. Yeah, I'm not listening. Didn't listen last time, not listening this time. Gunther Eagle, she might have shares in it, in the, the jibby jabby. And as for the long COVID, I'd be looking more at something that you've been given. Yeah, after the original thing came out. Anyway, Gunther Eagleman said if Mike Rogers for MI wins Michigan, President Trump has another ally in the Senate. Pass the word. Let's get Mike in office. So Mike Rogers for Michigan. We have Mate, who said the wokest Labor MP in Australia is Chris Bowen, this guy, is mates with Tampon Tim Walz, the wokest VP candidate in history. Is anyone surprised? Nobody's surprised, apparently. I was. I didn't know that. There you go. Laura Loomis said another Hamas-loving squad member has lost their election. You love to see it. Bye, Cory Bush. Laura Loomis said can't wait for Cory Bush to lose her election tonight and be removed from Congress. Lucky for her, I hear Hamas is hiring. Yeah, let's send all the people that support it over there. Illuminati Bot said we are fighting $1 trillion propaganda machine with memes. And we are. And I don't know if anyone remembers that was the original Pepe the Frog. That was the declaration of memes. Anyway. Okay. Bo Loudon said in 1995, Trump paid off a family's mortgage after they fixed his flat tyre. A man pulled over, fixed his tyre and gave Trump an address to send flowers for his wife. The man got the flowers with a note reading, "We've paid off your mortgage. Share this and make it go viral." There you go. Repost it. Okay, we've got, oh dear God. DC, the optics are perfect. The two most unlikely candidates on planet Earth to face Donald Trump. These two are second to Joey Biden and Harris tandem duo. A logical-minded person such as Jack Reacher, Tom Cruise, would tilt his head just to the right, just a bit, and smirk. DNC had no choice. Obama and Clinton have no voice. It's checkmate. This was over before it began. All data's been captured. Sleep well, patriots. Let's have a listen to what is going on here. I have no idea. I've just bookmarked all this stuff. I haven't really looked at it, so...
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening.
Oh dear. Her CGI audience, wow, that's what I was thinking too. The audience, I don't think it's real. I don't think this is real. Opiates are amazing. Bitch as high as a kite, apparently. Oh my God, there was something going on, I'll tell you. That was just so weird. I thought that, or maybe a problem with, I don't know, a bit of retardation, I don't know. Okay, George said breaking Arizona State Senator Jake Hoffman's been contacted by an Instagram whistleblower with the evidence Kamala Harris campaign is reaching out to offer them money for their endorsement. We can discuss the details and compensation for your involvement. Over a series of 3 posts, we're inviting you to share what you admire about the Biden-Harris administration, what initiatives support, or simply why you believe Kamala Harris, with Biden's endorsement, is the best candidate for the job. From now on, when you see any influencers irrationally supporting Kamala, just know they were paid. This is why we shouldn't bother trying to debate people like that Harry Swisson kid. They're being paid to lie. Social media users are being paid to post pro-Harris Walz content on Instagram. There you go. And compensation for your involvement. That's exactly what they did. Okay, what do we got here? Benny Johnson, Trump's press secretary, promises more Trump streams with independent creators. The Aiden Ross live stream is epic. The alternative media is certainly part of our strategy. There is a massive audience in these alternative platforms, and President Trump is willing to do them.
Just really quickly here, because I know we're short on time, but yesterday we had Aiden Ross do this amazing stream, this internet-breaking stream, seen by tens of millions after the fact, millions as he was live with President Trump, Cybertruck dancing, so freaking awesome. I know you had a hand in that, and I know that J.D. Vance is 39 years old, right, and is definitely the youngest person now across any of these tickets. Kamala is 60, right? So this idea that Kamala is this young candidate isn't true, and Tim Walz also in his 60s. And so J.D. Vance, the Trump campaign, very young, feeling very young, acting very young, and getting quite a bit of Gen Z support. You can see it. You can see the energy.
Absolutely. Well, the energy comes from the top, and it comes from President Trump, who has more energy than anyone I have ever met in my life. And he brings that energy to our team in the campaign trail every single day. And we are having an active outreach to Gen Z voters and millennial voters across the country right now, because we know that they are dissatisfied with the Harris-Biden policies that have made life in this country more expensive. It has crushed the American dream for young people. I mean, who can afford in their 20s and 30s to purchase a home right now? Not many Americans can, even if they have a good paying job. And so President Trump is running to restore that American dream for young Americans. The Aiden Ross live stream was just one example of how he's actively working to reach out to these young voters. And it's epic. I mean, look at that. How can you not?
Caroline, this is like, I know, again, you have a major hand in these things happening, and it's the destruction of dinosaur media. Trump doesn't need dinosaur media. These clips went more viral than any interview. Not going to name, just choose anybody, right? Inside of a corporate box. These clips, you've never seen a Trump interview go viral like this. Do more of this, right? Like, this is so odd. This really grabs the energy and really shows the differences. I don't think Tim Waltz with his ladder factory for illegals has this energy.
No, he doesn't. And the alternative media is certainly a part of our strategy, right? Because we understand that is a massive audience in these alternative platforms outside of the mainstream media, and President Trump is willing to do it. Whenever he's asked by some of these folks if he can join their podcast, he always says yes. He's willing to do it and to reach different audiences. Unlike Kamala Harris, who's now been the appointed nominee of the Dem Party for more than 2 weeks and has not sat down for a single interview, not even with her friends in the very liberal mainstream legacy media. She can't handle it because she wants to run from her record. She's trying to run the same basement strategy that Biden ran in 2020. It's not going to work. But President Trump will continue to do all sorts of interviews, appear at all sorts of venues. He's unafraid, and that's why he's winning.
The Benny Show. We can go stream. We could also do a pretty amazing stream, right? We're going to be...
Consider it on the list, Benny.
All right. Fantastic.
Okay, yeah, I can imagine.
Just really quickly here.
They will go with the people who have a lot of followers, of course, because they're trying to reach people. Okay, then we got this one. Hernando I don't know how to say that. A load of illegals are dumped at the airport to fend for themselves. A citizen volunteer helped them to their gate. As you may already know, NGO Texas IWC, Interfaith Welcome Coalition, has gone missing after stealing $1 million of FEMA SSP funds. They are the ones responsible for escorting the illegals to their gate. Wow. They've gone missing with $1 million. There you go. Cutting and running now. Cut and run. Okay. Chuck Costello said, did you know Minnesota Governor and Harris choice for VP Tim Walz signed a bill allowing the state to take custody of your children if a parent refuses to let their child receive gender-affirming care? You know what? I can see a big red wave coming. And I'm serious. This is the year. This is when it happens. So we were like, how many years behind with that red wave? Like, it really was the future proving the past, you know. Byron McDonald said nearly 3/4 of Americans have never heard of Tim Walz, so Democrats are deceptively trying to pass him off as moderate. Don't let them. The real Tim Walz is an apologist for socialism, wants sanctuary cities, wants free healthcare for illegals, wants driver's license for illegals, wants free college for illegals, wants illegals to scale border wall, help cover up Biden's decline, created a lockdown stitching line, shut down schools over COVID, destroyed businesses over COVID, promoted the 2020 riots, supported defunding the police, opposes oil and natural gas fracking, opposed bipartisan pro-veteran bills, wants to hold terrorists on US soil, wants to strip parents of custody if they oppose their child's sex change, rationed life-saving drugs based on race, oh my God, forced men's room to stock tampons, smeared rural voters as rocks and cows, abandoned his National Guard unit, is vocally endorsed by the Squad, support abortion up to the moment of birth. Yeah, no, don't. Yeah, nah. Okay, that's Australian for no. Mark PG said, so the new Minister for Immigration, Burke's first action was to fast-track 2,000 Palestinians into the country, 75% who follow Hamas. He has done this to shore up support in his own electorate, Labor corruption at its finest here in Australia. That's what they're doing. They're still not learning. They're still going to import 2,000 Palestinians. Okay, Mark R11 said, did I just hear Kamala Harris talk about democracy? Harris is running for president as a direct result of a coup that stole the primary election from the voters and was nominated virtually before there was even a convention. And she has the nerve to claim she's the voice for democracy? It's quite interesting to watch this. I'm telling you, US people, it is interesting to watch your politics. It's also sometimes interesting to watch ours. No, I should be more interested than I am in Australian politics, definitely. Amused said, is Tim Walz a Manchurian candidate? Despite being in China during the Tiananmen Square massacre and even visiting the site, Walz has spent the past 20 years deeply involved with the Chinese Communist Party, visiting China more than 30 times. Are you surprised? This just keeps getting more and more interesting. Resist a hologram, said Major Karma. Breaking, far-left squad member Cory Bush loses by a landslide, Missouri. Good stuff. Now the other three got to go. Deport foreign criminals, a house in Rotherham. 7 Pakistani cousins, 2 a.m. in the morning, and a drunk, almost naked 13-year-old runaway girl. Who did you arrest and prosecute for being drunk? Oh, what happened here? They arrested and prosecuted the young girl, did they? The 13-year-old. Okay, let's listen.
This was from a grandfather who rang from Rotherham who wanted to talk about his granddaughter. 1 month after her 13th birthday, she'd gone to school and then gone missing, and the school had rung her mum, who'd immediately rung the police, who'd said, don't worry, love, she'll turn up as soon as she gets hungry. She didn't turn up that afternoon, that evening, and at 2:30 in the morning, the next morning, a woman on the other side of Rotherham had picked up the phone and dialed 999 because she'd heard a young girl screaming in the house next door. Police had gone round to the house. They found this 13-year-old girl with another young girl. She was almost completely naked. She was blind drunk, and she was with 7 adult Pakistani men. She was drunk and leery. And South Yorkshire Police arrested the 13-year-old girl for being drunk and disorderly. They took her back to the station, put her in the cells, eventually charged her, and she was convicted. They didn't even question the men as to why they were in a house with a 13-year-old girl who was nearly naked in the early hours of the morning.
What in the hell
This was
is going on over there? That's terrible. They arrested the 13-year-old girl, but they didn't even bother with the 7 Pakistani cousins. Or ask them what they were doing at 2 a.m. in the morning with an almost naked drunk girl. 13-year-old. Huh. Gunther Eagleman said the Harris-Walz platform summed up open borders, healthcare for illegals, porn in the schools, no fiscally conservative policy, zero restriction abortion, DEI, CRT, ESG, crippling green energy mandates, wars overseas, gun control. We won't survive 4 years under Harris and Walz. No, you won't. Okay, declaration of memes, just a wild guess. Scientist warns solar storm could wipe out the internet for weeks or months. Let me guess late October 2024? What, maybe earlier, I think. I think it's going to happen earlier. For weeks or months. And then it will come back online, maybe, hopefully, by the time the election happens. I'm hoping. Illuminati bot said, reminder, this building in Oklahoma City was blown up and destroyed just 4 days before Hillary Clinton was supposed to be indicted in the Whitewater scandal. All documents were lost. Oh, so she was to be indicted. All documents lost. Look, isn't that just such a coincidence? The Oklahoma City, very, very coincidental, don't you think? All the documents were in there for Hillary Clinton and Whitewater. Whitewater's nothing compared to what's coming. Okay, Libs of TikTok said, holy shit. Dark Hegel said Tim Walsh signed a bill redefining the term sexual orientation to include pedos. Okay, I'm going to read this one on Rumble because I can then read it properly. If you guys want to know what this is about, go to Rumble. Okay, continuing on. Oh, okay, Liz Churchill said 2 communists down, 7 to go. I thought there was like 3 of them. Oh no, there's more. Because there's Ocasio-Cortez, there's Omar, there's Presley, there's Tlaib, Bowman and Bush are out. Who are these 3 down the bottom? I don't know, but keep an eye out. Watch this space. Okay, let's go now to the UK. Elon Musk said the woke Stasi, and Wokeness said breaking. UK authorities will round up and charge citizens who retweet any material deemed as inciting hatred. Let's have a listen.
The offence of incitement to racial hatred involves publishing or distributing material which is insulting or abusive, which is intended to or likely to start racial hatred. So if you retweet that, then you're republishing that, and then potentially you're committing that offence. And we do have dedicated police officers who are scouring social media. Their job is to look for this material and then follow up with identification arrests and so forth. So it's a really, really serious. People might...
Okay, so the police are too busy checking people's social media to actually uphold the law.
Think they're not doing anything harmful. They are, and the consequences will be visited upon them. The offence of incitement...
Yeah, seriously? Oh dear. Actual crime is being ignored while people are being chased online, and the police are so busy looking online for crimes that they're not going to bother getting real crime. Okay, Richard Grinnell said the Tim Walsh scandal is growing, a lifelong lie and stolen valour. General Mike Flynn asked, where's Joe Biden? Do we still have a president? I don't know, it's pretty interesting. Is there still a leader of the free world out there? Or are we just in limbo? James Melville said, Frankie Boyle, bankers are looting the world. You're not in the middle of a recession, you're in the middle of a robbery. That's exactly what we're in the middle of. Then we got this woman, and I think she might need a bit of help. Ian Miles Chong said, this woman says she's ashamed of being white. Are you also ashamed of being white? No. Why should I be? But have a listen to this one.
Hopefully be a seed of apology from the white community for what we are seeing, because my colleague today said to me, I'm ashamed of being white, and I feel that too. What is happening is awful. Hopefully...
I think they need maybe a bit of help. Like a hospital. Some kind of hospital. The mental kind. Straitjacket? I don't know. I don't know how far they'll go, but like... I don't know. Conspiracy bot posted this. There's a Baphomet there. On the left is Emma Watson at Harper's Bazaar Women of the Year Awards. Most critics said she had a very pretty Christian Dior dress. A closer look at it, left, reveals there is a big Baphomet head on it. At the bottom is stitched Le Diable, which means the devil in French. I hope I said that right. Emma won the Inspiration of the Year award that night. Yeah, this looks like a bat. I don't know why. There it is. There's the thing. Le Diable. Okay. Then we got George breaking. The Georgia State Election Board has voted to accept new rule requiring counties to preserve voting machine memory cards which contain ballot images, audit logs, etc. This came after they discovered that 1.7 million ballot images were missing from the 2020 election. Garland's favorito of Voter GA presented his findings and the proposed rule. He gave the board no choice but to move forward with it despite pushback from the Democrat member who tried to argue it cost too much money. This is yet another great change in Georgia that will go a long way to stop any cheating. If anyone thinks there was fraud in a county, they can Now just analyse the original ballot images. Well, that's pretty good. It's a good start. I still say paper and pen. Elon Musk said, is this accurate, community notes? I am yes, you are no, said imagine that. Facebook's race-blind algorithm backfires in their face, finds 90% of hate speech was directed toward white people and men. And someone, community, fact-checked this. At the time, yes, Facebook concluded their algorithm was in error because it was race-blind and was detecting what Facebook considered to be less harmful content, like men are pigs, apparently. Yeah. Nia Bisht said an earthquake with a magnitude of 6.9 occurred near Japan. Depth of 30 km in Japan. Tsunami with a height estimated to reach up to 1 metre was expected due to the earthquake. That one from an office building. Still moving. How long's that? Nearly 30 seconds. I know it only says like 30 seconds, but that would feel like a very long time when you're going through this. Oh, someone's shop overturned. And you got this one. Okay. Oh, the glass broke from up here. Okay. We've got more of these. We're just going to go through some pictures of Japan and video. Okay. Indo-Pacific News, Geopolitics and Defence said 2 simultaneous earthquakes measuring up to 7.3 on the Richter scale have occurred in Japan. This is last night. South of, 14 hours ago, wherever you are. South of Miyazaki near the Japanese island of Kyushu. The earthquake was originally measured at 6.9. The quake had a very shallow depth of 8.8 kilometres. A tsunami warning issued. That's very interesting. There was 6.9 out here and there was a 7.1 here. So there you go. Epicenter is there. Hang on. Okay. Okay. There you go. Breaking 2 big ones. Canadian earthquake researcher now it's claiming there were 2 huge earthquakes at exactly the same time. Just now, magnitude of 6.9 offshore and 7.1 right beside shore, southern Japan. Not sure if it's the first time ever 2 this size happened at the exact same time. That's really interesting. One depth of 8.8 kilometres and one at the depth of 33 kilometres. One 19 kilometres south-southeast of Miyazaki, Japan, and 29 kilometres east-southeast of Miyazaki, Japan. Interesting. I don't know if any 2 happened at the same time. Oh, God. Okay, Stevens. Sorry, this just took me right, I don't know, took me right over there. Stevens said, Jackie will not support nuclear. Jackie Lambie here. Will not support nuclear because it's not safe. Press heart if you think nuclear is safer than the Botox loony Jackie fills her face with. Yeah, this I don't know, this person here is... I just call him insane. Seriously. She doesn't even... I don't know. She's starting to look a bit mannish there. That face. Maybe the Botox is not good. It makes you look like a man, maybe. After a while. Okay, we've got concerned citizen Piers Morgan. Would you like to take this opportunity to tell the rioters to stop rioting? Because apparently Tate is a Muslim. So let's listen to what this argument is.
Would you like to take this opportunity finally to tell the rioters to stop rioting? Yes or no?
Absolutely. Well, considering I've been saying that for the last 4 days on Twitter and you didn't read any of the tweets out, they should be in front of you. There's at least 30. Let me make it clear to the people on both sides of the equation, all of my brothers in Islam and all of the Christians and native people of the UK who feel like they're underrepresented. You have more in common with the people you live amongst than you do with these political elites. The people you live amongst love their children and they're struggling to pay the bills exactly like you are. There's no reason for UK, one of the greatest countries in the world, one of the largest empires in history, to be plunged into poverty if it wasn't being looted by a political class that do not care about you. And the people who do not care about you, the number one thing they want is the different breeds or different types or different categories of poor people to fight so nobody looks up and sees who the real enemy is. Britain can be a rich country and it can be prosperous and it can be safe and it can be regulated and the police can respond and it can be as beautiful as a lot as the first world Islamic nations are. There's no reason why it has to be the way it is unless a political class was failing the people who they're supposed to represent for generations. And that's where this anger and hatred comes from. Not because a video was made on Twitter. That is so infantile and asinine to believe that some little video on Twitter started all of these things.
Here's what
That is what's happening. So stop rioting amongst each other and realize who the real enemy of your freedom is. When you understand the truth about this world, listen, I was born on a Luton council estate and now I have hundreds of millions of dollars. And let me promise you, it's never poor versus poor. It's rich versus poor. When a black billionaire and a white billionaire meet, there is no racism because they are billionaires. Racism is what they use to divide the poor people, to stop us realizing that they lie about every single thing on the news, that they inflate the currency constantly, they send our money away to wars we're not interested in, nobody can afford their bills, nobody can afford health care, and you're going to die alone in some nursing home because you can't afford a nice house because even then they're going to inheritance tax it. They don't want you realizing the truth, and that's why they want the poor people to fight the poor people.
I would agree with certain parts of that, but we are all.
Would you like to take this opportunity finally?
We are also being overrun. Damien Amani said, "Leave Tim Walz alone." I think this is a comedy bit. Okay, so let's have a look at this. Is that a hooker?
I did some research and I couldn't find any evidence backing the claim that Tim Walz drank horse semen. But here's the thing, even if he did, what's wrong with that? Because he's a liberal, he's forward thinking. We live in a modern world. I mean, you find people in relationship with their cars, in relationship with things like a table. You find people identifying as animals, as dogs, as cats, as wolves. You find all the videos on TikTok. So this is stuff are pretty normal. Now, drinking horse semen, I'm not gonna lie, that's weird. But if you're a liberal, just go for it. Just go for it. We don't judge. Cheers.
Oh no! What is going on? Did he drink, did he actually do that? It was comedy, I know that, but, that is interesting. Sea biscuits all natural. The question is, how did he extract it? Please don't answer, I won't read the response. Going to clean my brain with extra detergent. Tim Walz and the horse semen problem in Minnesota. What's going on here? What is this? Did Minnesota Governor Tim Walz drink horse semen? Some Republicans are claiming he did. In recent years, some people in Minnesota have started drinking horse semen, a trend that began in New Zealand. Why? Why would you do this? Why? According to reports, after ingesting horse semen, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz was treated at Hennepin Healthcare Hospital, where doctors performed gastric lavage and provided supportive care to clean his stomach. Historical accounts suggest that certain cultures have used horse semen for medicinal or ritualistic purposes. For instance, some traditional Chinese medicine practices involved consuming horse semen for their supposed health benefits. The semen that Tim Walz might have drank is often flavoured to make it... I'm going to vomit. To make it taste better, and is marketed as having health benefits like more energy. Oh no, I don't think I can read this because it's gonna make me sick. Popular among young adults who want to do something unusual and share it on social media. Please don't. Oh, dear God, I'm trying to not gag. Sorry, guys. However, the supposed health benefits aren't backed by science. And I can't read it. I'm going to vomit, man. And drinking unpasteurised animal products can be risky due to potential contamination. Okay. Yeah, it raises concerns about animal treatment and ethics. Okay, I think I've got control of myself. Okay. It's not advisable. I can't do this. I can't even read it. Seriously, I'm going to vomit if I read this. Okay, so I am not going to read this. Dear God. Okay? Wow. Okay. Oh, wow. Yeah, that came out of left field. I didn't even really look at that before I I looked at it, but I thought it was just a funny thing, you know? But now, I don't know. George said the Georgia State Election Board just voted to accept a proposed new rule that requires the Postal Service to provide tracking for mail-in ballots and chain of custody for undeliverable ballots. So if and when fraud happens, we can now track it. Amazing. Good stuff. Pauline Hanson said former New South Wales Premier Dominic Perrottet's admission that the jab mandates were wrong is a case of too little too late. Both Labor and the Coalition, federal and state, must be held accountable for their disastrous decisions. They impose brutal mandates that cost people their jobs and destroyed lives. It is outrageous that they can simply walk away without facing consequences. I stood firm against these mandates. One Nation stood with me and we remain resolute in our fight for justice. So many good people, nurses, health professionals, police, firefighters, you name it, lost their jobs due to these reckless, heartless mandates. We urgently need a royal commission to hold these politicians accountable and prevent such overreach from happening again. If One Nation holds the balance of power in Parliament, I'll push tirelessly for a royal commission. The people of Australia deserve accountability and justice, and I will not rest until we achieve it. It's time to ensure politicians answer for their mistakes. Yeah, because on his way out, Mr. Perignon, who was the Premier of New South Wales, which is the leader of New South Wales, I call him Don Perignon, but anyway. He left and then stated at the end that the mandates were wrong. He was one of them that imposed them. Okay, now we've still got the CFMEU officials still on powerful ALP, Australian Labor Party Committee in Victoria, said Damon Johnston. No surprise to me. Okay, said, the more I think about taxpayers funding salary increases for private businesses being childcare businesses, the more disturbed this practice is. This will end up being another out-of-control cost in future budgets. We aren't talking a few million here. We're talking about billions of dollars, and when does it stop? The industry is already heavily subsidised. After the embargo period ends, will childcare rates increase again? You bet they will. Then the government, if they are still in power, will increase the childcare subsidy, which we also pay for. And the practice of subsidising salaries for private enterprise should send the red flag very high up the flagpole for three reasons. First, the tie to unions and union bargaining, a condition attached to the salary subsidy. Two, the fact that the unions were very quick out of the box claiming credit for the increase. So what businesses will be next on their agenda? The precedent is set. This is insane. We are doing this not just in childcare, it's all over the place. Taxpayers are funding private business. Why? Okay, Tommy Robinson said, okay, so this dude's in prison now for 3 years punching a police officer at the Southport riot a week ago, but the Muslim who violently attacked 3 police officers at Manchester Airport, including breaking a female officer's nose, he still hasn't even been charged. Can you please explain this to us, GM Police? Also explain why none of the rioters from Leeds have been arrested and convicted so quickly. BBC News UK said moment police officer punched in the face during the Southport Southport riot. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened, but that's not proof. That picture is not proof of anything. I either want to see the person being punched in the face or it didn't happen. Sorry, the police officer. Oh, he's probably got body cam footage of it. Joe Rambo said Hunter took a plea, and I'm starting to think Joe's going to expose the whole deep state. Look back on this clip now that Trump has told us Joe may crash the DNC. Hindsight is 2020. Why is this even still up? Can you tell me? Well, I think I know. Listen to Hunter's voice, hot mic right over the top of Joe's speech. If Joe was really Joe and the bad guys were in control, what would that still be there? Or happened at all for that matter? Of course not. Hunter was used to expose the Biden crime family. If you believe he accidentally left those laptops at a repair shop, I have a bridge in Baltimore to sell you. And now Joe was thrown out with an unconstitutional coup. Joe isn't going to let that stand. Movie. Optically, Trump doesn't really have to do it. It will be Joe. Trump's hands will be clean. Freaking brilliant. Trump told you he caught them all. Now let's see what happens. Let's have a listen.
Tony Fauci, our chief COVID medical advisor, Javier Becerra, excuse me, our nominee for Secretary of Health.
So just so you know my life, as
Dr.
we're waiting
Rick
to
Murphy,
do this, I
our
just
nominee for
agreed
Surgeon
to
General. Dr. Rochelle
plea sentence
Walensky, she's going to be the director for the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and Dr. Marcela Nunez-Smith, who will be leading our equity work in the COVID response. Tony Fauci.
Okay, I don't know what the significance of that was. But anyway, let's continue on. You might know. The opinionated black woman auntie said filthy rock spiders. So that's what I told you they call them here in Australia. They call pedos rock spiders here in Australia. Vice Grad 24 said breaking. Iraq's parliament takes the first step to lower the legal age of marriage for girls from 15 to 9. Okay, guys, I'm going to leave it there for today. I hope you have a good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are, and I'll be back with a live tomorrow morning. Okay, guys, much love. Bye.